Good morning, YouTube. Today we're going to figure out why my Ferrari F430 caught on fire yesterday.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, this is my garage, and this channel is all about the supercar ownership experience, buying and selling them, maintaining them, DIY, working them, and today we are unfortunately continuing on with the Ferrari F430 project car, which was supposed to have been sold yesterday, but instead it decided to catch on fire. Oh, it's on fire. Well, the damage doesn't look too bad, but we really don't know the damage until we pull off all the panels and really inspect all the parts. So that's what we're going to do today. So the first thing I want to do is actually take the car out of the garage and wash it because it's got a bunch of soot on the car. The last thing I want to do is risk damaging any of the paint by having the soot grind into the paint and cause some micro sketches and things like that. So we're going to get all the soot off the car, at least off the paint as much as we can. That way we can make sure that this thing stays as beautiful as possible. Then once we do that, we're going to get the car back in the garage, get it back up in the air, remove all the panels, and figure out what went wrong. If you didn't know, basically we've restored this car, gotten it back to perfect condition or near perfect condition, and I was taking it out on its final test drive yesterday to make sure everything was all set and sorted, and I believe, my suspicion is what happened is the ceramic coating on the headers failed. Now why that failed, I don't know. I've talked to the company that installed it. They don't know. They've been doing this for a long time and they have never seen this happen. We don't know exactly why, but it certainly looks like the ceramic coating is at fault. Why, we don't know yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to probably pull out those headers, take a look at them, really inspect them, and see if we can figure out what the heck is going on and why I'm dealing with the car that caught on fire. Okay, so before I wash the car, I just kind of want to show you what we can see for certain. There is soot on the glass and you can see the soot on the paint, and obviously the fire was mostly contained up here, which if you notice, that is exactly where the headers are. So the headers are right there. That's basically where the fire kind of popped up through these vents right here. Now, what worries me is I don't know if this panel has any damage or if the panel on the bottom has any damage. That's my two top concerns. And then the secondary concern would be if the fire got hot enough to burn any of the insulation off of any of the wires or coating off any of the wires or things like that. It doesn't appear that the fire got hot enough to do any major damage to anything else. I mean, as you can see, look at this is just soot. It comes right off. So we're gonna clean up all this paint. You can see there's soot, little drops of soot all over the paint, all over this glass, all over the engine bay. So obviously we're gonna need to get the whole car cleaned up and detailed before we can do anything about this car. So if you didn't know, this car was up for auction and it will still be up for auction. I actually stopped the auction that was going and I'm going to restart it once we've got the car totally sorted. I didn't think it was fair for anyone to be bidding on a car that we didn't know what was wrong with it. That auction got halted. We will restart the auction once this is done. So that auction will be on my website, normalguysupercar.com. And also once this car sells, we're going to do another project car. So if you happen to stumble across a cool project car, some sort of supercar that looks like it's undervalued and can make for an interesting set of videos, please go to my Submit a Project Car page, submit that car, fill out as much information you can. So if we choose the car that you submit, once we sell that car, we're gonna split the net profits with you 1/3. So yes, this car we actually had one of my viewers submit to my website, and I'm splitting the net profits with that viewer 1/3 once we sell this thing. Hopefully we don't have to buy too much more stuff because obviously that's gonna chip away at the profits a bit. All right, let's get the car outside and wash it, and then, well actually I'm gonna wash the 458 too because it's disgusting. So we're just gonna do a Ferrari car wash day. Okay, I've got both the Ferraris washed up, so now we're gonna move on to actually starting to take apart this 430. First thing we're gonna do is pull off these side panels before I get the car up in the air because it's much easier to do while it's on the ground. And yes, we've got the shop dog Mo here with me. Hey Mo, what are you doing? Hi buddy. Hi buddy. Yeah, what you doing buddy? Huh? Okay. Gotta pop off this little clip, throw a screwdriver in there, and off it comes. Okay, so this is my first glimpse of the headers, and there we go. You can see they are pretty hosed, and you can see there's ceramic coating just dripping everywhere. That's what worries me, is that wire. We're gonna have to inspect that wire. All the wires up here look pretty good. Just those two wires, maybe those three wires, we're gonna have to inspect those. Everything looks pretty solid there. Yeah, all right. Let's keep keep on going. So we can see some soot on this panel. It's not too bad, but flip it over and yeah, that's a lot of soot. So we obviously need to clean up this panel pretty badly. I don't know if that's any damage. It just looks like soot. So I think maybe we got lucky on this panel. We'll see once we get it cleaned up. All right, I got the right side out, and as you can see, the headers still have some ceramic coating, but it's clearly failing. The good news is these never caught fire, so there's no soot and crap all over the place. As long as we're here, we're gonna take off like that panel, and I'm just gonna clean everything. We're gonna hose down all this stuff. We're gonna make it just clean as hell. Cleaner than it was before. All the trim panels are off, so now what I'm gonna do is, again, before we get the car up in the air, I'm gonna take care of what I can from up top. We know we're gonna have to disconnect the O2 sensors. We know we're gonna have to disconnect those flanges that meet the headers to the rest of the exhaust, so I'm gonna start loosening up those from up top because it's much easier to do that from the top. This way also, I'm probably not gonna have to pull the fender liners because those appear to be in perfect condition, so I don't see any reason to pull those, pull the wheels, do all that sort of stuff. They already look really clean, so let's just let that be. We're just gonna focus on the areas where there's possible damage. All right, let's see if we can get the O2 sensor. Get that top flange nut. Okay, let's get the quick checks under here and start removing the bottom tray and all that other stuff.
A few moments later.
Okay, got the car up in the air. We're just gonna get the under tray and the diffuser off, then we can start really inspecting stuff, and basically we're just gonna pull out the headers. We can already see the headers are totally screwed. Well, Mo, what do you think? Should we go under there and see what happened? Yeah, Mo is trying to help, but you're not really helpful, Mo. So we can clearly see that all the fire is exactly where the headers are because all the soot starts right there at the headers. So there's no soot elsewhere. So we're gonna have to get these headers out of there, and then we can kind of assess all the wiring and make sure that nothing else got messed up. So I think that's the next step is let's get these headers out of here. Yay, get to do this again. Well, here they are, and it's pretty obvious that this is what went wrong. The ceramic coating totally failed and kind of turned into like the crispy critters that it is. So just to clarify a few things, yes, these are FabSpeed headers. No, FabSpeed did not put on the ceramic coating. So as I've said many times in the comments, this is not FabSpeed's fault. Hi, Mo. You really shouldn't lick that. Don't lick that. Stop saying it's FabSpeed's fault. This is not FabSpeed's fault. They didn't do the ceramic coating. All they did was manufacture the headers. So the company that did put on the ceramic coating, I am working with them to try and figure out what went wrong. Stay tuned for that. Probably got stuff all over me. There's like shrapnel or like soot or whatever. I'm gonna get the company that put on the ceramic coating to come out. They're gonna inspect them and take them and figure out what the hell went wrong. In the meantime, we're gonna have to obviously get some new headers ordered. And then also I need to clean up this side of the engine bay and make sure that none of the wires have any issues. The initial quick look over is that everything's fine, which is kind of crazy. And it's one of those situations where like it was terrible luck, but maybe it wasn't as terrible as I thought. Maybe it's like good luck, bad luck. I don't know. So of all the bad things that could happen, maybe it was the least bad. So we'll do some more inspection. I don't want to, fingers crossed, everything's okay. It just needs to be cleaned up, which would be, oh, that would be a miracle. I could use that so bad right now. Some junk there. Most of that, honestly, is just like ash. So I need to check on those wires right there. I'll tell you one thing, dealing with brand new header bolts and headers that were just put in the day before, and you know exactly how to do it. I got those out in about 20 minutes. I feel like I've been pretty good at this, which is, I guess, not a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing. I guess it's a good thing. I'm kind of tired of doing headers. So you can see there's a bunch of soot on the engine, but the good news is basically there's no wires above that, and they're all protected by that heat shield. We'll pull that heat shield off and make sure that nothing got actually burnt on the other side of that, but it looks to be okay. And then of course there's some soot and crap up on the top of the engine mount, so we obviously need to clear that up and make sure that there's no goobers on that. There's also some crap on the bottom of the under tray. It looks like, yeah, it just needs to be flaked off. We'll take this outside when we power wash the other stuff, and we'll just power wash this as well, and I think this is gonna be okay. All right, so the heat shield's off, and we can definitely see these wires are totally undamaged. So we just need to get down there and really inspect those few wires. And in order to do that, I need to clean up all that crap that just kind of sloughed off. I'm curious of just how flammable this stuff might be. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a blowtorch and put it to some of this stuff and see if it catches fire. Get out of here, Mo. This is not a time to be over here. All right, let's see what happens. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen with ceramic coating. Whoa. That is not good, so. Yep. That is not good for ceramic coating. Well, that is messed up stuff. So over the last 24 hours, I've gotten a lot of emails or messages from people going, oh my God, I'm so scared. I just ceramic coated my headers, or I got ceramic coat exhaust. Am I have to be worried? Blah, blah, blah. So here's what I could say is you shouldn't have to be worried, especially if you've already driven your car. But second of all, if you're that scared of it, do what I just did. Take a blowtorch, put it to the ceramic coating, and it should not catch fire. It should not discolor, nothing. Because that stuff's designed to take a lot of heat. I wouldn't do it in an obvious spot. Do it in like a very obscure spot that you're not gonna see, just in case it does discolor. But that's probably a reasonable test. In fact, if I was going to get anything ceramic coated in the future, that's what I'm going to do from now on. All right, that's as far as I'm going to get today. So we're going to continue working on this thing, getting it cleaned up to the bottom of why this stuff is catching on fire when it shouldn't. So we'll find out what's going on with that. The company that made that stuff is going to come grab those headers. They're going to analyze what the hell's going wrong, and we're going to clean up the soot and all the crap that's in this car and get it looking really good. I just wanted to take a moment and thank all of you for the comments of support and concern over the last 24 hours. That was kind of impressed that there was that many people that were wishing me well, and so thank you to all of you. I genuinely do appreciate that. It's good to know that people are actually caring about you instead of reading all the normal crap you get on YouTube. It's nice to see some people actually being positive and caring, so thank you to all of you that did that. So obviously we'll continue work on this car very soon. So like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. All those things do help out my channel, so thank you to all of you that are doing that. It does mean a lot to me. Also, don't forget, we do have giveaways coming up. So we have the slip blow scrape guards coming up. If you want to buy some of those, go to bit.ly/NGS-scrape. Use the code NGS10. They're going to hook you up with 10% off. As soon as we hit 55,000 subscribers, we're going to give away a set of those. All you have to do is be a member of the channel, buy me merch, or sign up to my email list. If you do any of those three things, you're automatically entered for a chance to win. We have some more deals coming up. I actually just made a deal this morning, so you guys are going to love this one. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Trust me on this one. Also, don't forget, go to fabspeed.com, use the code NGS15. They're going to hook you up with 15% off your order. So as you saw, yes, this is not Fabspeed's fault. They made some excellent headers. This is the ceramic coating company's fault, so don't worry. Fabspeed makes good stuff, okay? Please go ahead and do that. If you guys have been looking at Fabspeed stuff, don't be scared. They're fine. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for watching. We have tons of car stuff coming your way, so you're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.